From the food we eat to the clothes we wear, we can thank a farmer. But there are fewer farmers in Oklahoma these days.
As Fox 25's Phil Cross tells us, the family farmer is disappearing as the cost of breaking even is getting higher.
From atop the farmer's grain elevator in Hunter, you can see all the fall harvest from wheat to sesame. Just down the road and a little closer to the ground, Raymond Parrish's soybean crop is looking exceptionally good this year.
I started farming part-time in 1979 when I married my wife. Her dad was a farmer out here.
Part-time went to full-time, and these days Parrish is responsible for 2,400 acres, about 1,800 of which are in production this year.
My summer crops, about a third of it goes in corn, and a third soybeans, and a third grain sorghum, and every once in a while I'll plant a little sesame.
At 61 years old, Parrish has surpassed the 58-year-old average age of an Oklahoma farmer.
I'm above average in something.
His farm is also above the average farm size of 440 acres. But besides being an above-average farmer, Parrish is also a survivor, continuing cultivation as many of his northwest Oklahoma neighbors have sold off land.
You can tell around here, I used to remember when harvest time, you could see your neighbor cutting wheat and everything else and going to town, but now it's just like you're by yourself out there when you're cutting wheat.
In the last decade, nearly 10,000 farmers have called it quits, and that's according to numbers kept by the USDA's National Ag Statistics Program. Here's Oklahoma statistician Troy Marshall.
It's definitely seeing a tougher time in the farm economy side. So the farm climate is a little different for the economy, and it's a little tougher for those family farms.
The numbers also point to another troubling trend. Farmers are getting older. There's been a significant increase in the number of farmers who are past 65 years old.
We're definitely seeing a lot less newer, younger producers that are coming into the business, into the industry as a whole.
Marshall says the USDA has programs to help and encourage new farmers, but getting into farming takes a lot more than a green thumb.
2 years ago, I thought about letting my son or somebody take over, but the prices were down $2 a bushel, $2 and something a bushel for wheat, and you can't make very much money on that. And I want them to have better than I have. So
commodity prices have failed to keep up with the cost of farming, so farmers farm to survive. And if there's no one who can afford to take over what it costs just to break even on the farm, then retirement may mean selling to a corporate farm.
So I've been thinking about that seriously lately since I'm getting older, and every time I get on a combine or tractor or something I have to work on it, I get a little stiffer every year. But I worry about that a lot, and I don't know what I'm going to do for sure.
Only time will tell if the season of the mid-sized operations has run its course. But if the trends continue, we may be witness to the final harvest of the family farm. Phil Cross, Fox 25 News.
And another troubling statistic, farm loans are reaching similar levels that preceded the farming crisis of the 1980s. But Marshall says changes in banking rules since the 80s will likely keep a crash from happening. Still, though, it does point to the rising cost of keeping a farm operational.